Hello guys. Hello people. What do we have in the building? Okay, as you're joining me, tell me your name and your city. I'd like to know you better. Okay, so today I'm talking on the subject I've captioned the oil of America is real estate and why you must get it. But I'd like to know those of you who are here. I'm currently in Dallas, Texas. Amir from Dubai. How are you, Amir? Thank you for joining. Ade from Toronto. Is it Toronto? Or Toronto? Which one? Toronto. Toronto. Or Toronto. Alright, you guys have a look. Ajayi from Oyo State. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome everybody. Good to have you all here. Toronto. Okay, Ajayi from Toronto. Okay, Toronto. Welcome everyone. It's good to have you guys here. Who else is here? Tell me your name and your city. Tell me your name and your city. So what do you see everywhere? See me from Nigeria. Welcome. Amir, say I'm your fan. Thank you, Amir. Thank you for being my fan. What do you guys see? This is Dallas, Texas. But what can you see? Femi from Abuja. You're welcome, everybody. What can you see? I don't know about you, but I can see real estate, right? That's all I can see. Tall buildings, tall buildings. That's AT&T and Discovery. Tall buildings everywhere. So I can see real estate everywhere. Olajumoke from Los Angeles. Oh, I'll be in LA next week, hopefully, by the grace of God. So, Muachuku Perfect from Nigeria. Welcome, Peace Jale from Sapele, Nigeria. You're all welcome and thank you for joining. So all I can see is real estate. And I've often done my best to help people understand the fact that real estate is how wealth is created. But specifically for America, America's oil is real estate. Now, a lot of people don't even know that America has oil. Yes, America has oil, not just have oil. It has oil in commercial quantity. But America has always tried to even use the oil to take care of itself because, you know, she's always needing oil anyway. So you see America even buy other people's oil. But the economy has never been built on the oil. American economy is built on real estate. And that's why once the interest rate begins to go up, you know, you see that in the real estate sector, the economy begins to shake. When the real estate, you know, banks fail, then the economy begins to collapse. When you look at the 2008 financial crisis, it was basically a real estate crisis. Okay, it was real estate crisis. You have the mortgage banks, who were the biggest banks, they were failing. As a result of them failing, what happened was that the entire industry was gone just because some banks were failing. But that's what we're talking about in terms of the kind of country America is, right? Her real estate market is what determines how well she's doing. Here is the problem. By the way, how many of you are based in the US? If you're watching me and you're based in the US, just type US. US. I just wanted to type US. If you're watching me and you're based here in the US, okay, just type US. Now, one of the funny things I realized is that I shared this on Sunday. I had a speaking engagement in Long Island here in the US on Sunday. And I shared this powerful insight that we as Africans, we are majorly socialist by design. How many of us know that? If you know that, type I know. If you don't know, of course you can type I don't know. How many of you know that the DNA of a typical African man or woman is socialist? You know, we are more social than capitalist by design, by our culture, by our nature, you know, and that's one of the reasons why you see that a typical African lives under what I call subsidy, right? A typical African lives what I call subsidy. Every African, okay, not all of course, but most African are under some subsidy or the other. Some are still, some used to be. And I'll give you a practical example, right? It's only in Africa that you are a grown adult, a man or a woman, and then you'll be relying on a fellow African to house you when you come to America, okay, without charging you. Who knows what I'm talking about? The mindset is there, the psychology is there. It's only in Africa, and people don't realize this, that you are in America and you have relatives back at home, you know, asking you to send them money, expecting you to send them $100, $200, $500 for their own family expenses, for their own emergency. How many of you understand what I'm talking about? If you can relate, just type I can relate. That is a typical African narrative or challenges or situation. It's just there, right? So, but that is called socialism. The concept of socialism simply means that, hey, the ones that have must reach out to support those that don't have, based on the sentiment that you all came from the same background, same family background, you know, nothing logical, just based on the fact that, oh, we are from the same village, we are related, okay? Just because of that, you're sending money to people, you're trying to help people. And this is the typical, you know, African situation. Now, in America, America is a capitalist society, right? Can everybody say capitalist society? Come on, everybody, I want to type capitalist society. Now, the whole concept of capitalism simply means you should earn whatever you get. There's no free lunch. There's nobody giving you anything. You get what you deserve. You get what you work for. You only get what you have put in. Nobody, no free lunch anywhere. Nobody's gonna help you just because they like your face, right? If you want something, go work for it. Go do everything you can. Okay, push for it, work hard, but do not expect anybody to give you anything. That is your typical, okay, American lifestyle and mindset. So the challenge we then face, you know, you are coming from a socialist background, then you come to America, and then you start, you know, a socialist behavior. Okay? Your church members can call you in America and say, okay, we need to help this member. People can reach out to you and say, oh, I want to come visit your house. And then you say you come, and before you say Jack Robinson, they're leaving your house for 1 year. But that's not really the problem, and I'm not here to discourage that. We bring this same mindset into how we're supposed to build wealth in America as well. So, I just told you now, America's oil is real estate. Okay? So what then happened, when you look at most Africans in the United States of America, majority of our income has gone into socialist things that really have nothing to do with growing our capital. The background, or the back, what do I call, the key backbone of capitalism is real estate assets. Okay? Anywhere they operate capitalism, real estate assets is the backbone of that capitalist society, right? And that's why the proof is even starts from the infrastructure. You see tall stories, tall high rises, big buildings, you know, in places that are capitalist, in places that are capitalist society. You see big buildings, good roads and systems, right? You see big companies everywhere. You see big companies, because these companies have had to grow over time to become what they are. So if you don't come with a mindset and say, hey, I'm here in America, the system is built on real estate. So how many real estate assets do I want to acquire? This is where the mindset begins from. You want to ask yourself, how many real estate assets do I want to own? How many real estate assets do I want to, begin to invest in? It doesn't matter whether you're a nurse, you are a doctor, you are into tech, you are into whatever field. You must understand, this is the reason why, how many of you have noticed that even companies that have no business with real estate own massive real estate assets, okay, beyond even what they need. And COVID release, help us to realize that. We were able to realize during COVID that a lot of companies that have big, real estate assets didn't need it. We're able to see people work from home. We're able to see how companies were able to survive, even though most of their staff were working from home. How many of you understand what I'm talking about? If you can comprehend, just type I understand. Okay? If you understand what I'm talking about, just type I understand. But I need to know that one of the reasons why most of these companies own these big real estate assets were not even because they needed it. They were more because it was one of the ways that they were able to build assets. So I'll show you a building right now. Can anybody, I'm going to show you a building now. I want to just guess the owner of this massive building. Okay, after we guess, I'll ask you another question. Can you see this building? Thank God I've left the building. I'm not sure all of you can see it. But this big building, can you see? And by the way, they have virtually something like this all across America. Okay? Can anybody guess? Of course, if you are in Dallas, you know it. But I'm expecting that a lot of you may not be in Dallas. Can anybody guess what company owns this massive building here in downtown Dallas? Okay? Can you guess? What company owns this massive building? Kemechuku says Trump. Definitely not Donald Trump. Not that. This is Dallas, not New York. A lot of Donald Trump real estate assets was basically New York, New Jersey, that axis, okay? Until recently when they dealt with him and he's left. Okay, who else wants to guess? Okay, what company owns... Come on, Wheezy. He says Dangote. Come on, this is not Nigeria or Africa. Okay, Dangote, is the king in those parts of the world. Okay, building is owned by Bank of America. Okay, it's owned by Bank of America. And virtually everywhere you go, Bank of America has this kind of big quarters. And guess what? They do not need it. In fact, 90% of the building is not occupied by Bank of America. It's occupied by other companies. So other companies occupy this Bank of America I just showed you. Of course, they have a few offices that they use for themselves. But why did they invest in such a big building? It was a way of wealth creation, wealth retention, wealth multiplication, and wealth transfer. Okay, real estate does 4 things for you: wealth creation, wealth multiplication, wealth retention, and wealth transfer. So a lot of big companies are always investing in real estate, not even because they need the real estate assets, okay, but because they understand that this is one of the major ways that you create wealth, you retain wealth, and you transfer the wealth to the next generation. So America has been built based on these values, right? Everywhere you go, you see that America remains, and those who have mastered it never joke with it. I was discussing with a friend of mine, and he was telling me how he bought a house here in Dallas, of course, outskirts of Dallas, for $90,000 over 10 years ago when he moved to America. Right? It took him time to pay for the property, and he just moved out and rented it out. The value of that same property he bought for $90,000 is now worth $240. $90,000 to $240 10 years later. That's almost 160% return on investment. About 160% return on investment. Now he's moved to a new property he just built. So the biggest mistake you will make is to be in a capitalist society and not invest in real estate. Is to be in America and not prioritize real estate investment. In fact, that is the first thing you want to do. Your first move is to say, hey, what can I buy? Where can I invest in? Of course, your first move, I always say, is to dream it, right? Is to dream it. You want to start by having these big dreams, okay? As I speak to you, people ask me, by the way, I'm doing my work. We're going to be launching 20 units of 3-bedroom property in Atlanta that we acquired and we're selling. Okay, we acquired it, renovated it, and we're selling it. 20 units. They are going for $250,000 each. Okay, that will be happening on the 14th of October. And I'm inviting you, if you're a property agent in the US, if you are interested in buying, please be my guest. I'm also running a real estate training here in Dallas on Saturday. I'm running in Houston on Sunday. It's paid, it's $1,000, but I'm going to give 10 people free ticket to attend. So if you are in Dallas, or you are in Houston, or you're in Los Angeles, or you're in San Francisco, or you're in Maryland, or you're in Atlanta, okay, send me a DM. If you're among the first 10 people, I'm giving you $1,000 worth of tickets to attend my real estate training, where I'm going to take my time to mentor you and share with you. But I want to just share 2-3 things you need to do if you are here in the US and you're serious about building your real estate asset. This is only for those based in the US, okay? So don't ask me how about those in Nigeria. We have Nigerian training. When last did you attend? I did Lagos, I did Abuja. Did you show up? I did Benin. Okay, but thank God in October I'm doing Abuja and Port Harcourt, and then first Saturday in November I'm doing Lagos. So send a DM if you want to learn more about that. But this is for US. Now let me share this. The first thing you want to do if you live here in America, understand what I've just told you. A capitalist society, you need to think of building wealth. Okay, the first thing you want to do is imagination. Everybody type imagination. Come on, everybody, I want you to type imagination. Now, keep going to downtown. Anytime in the US, I'm always staying close to the downtown. And I do a walk like I'm doing now. Okay? And I'm always staying in tall buildings. I look out my window. And I'm saying to myself, I will soon be owning properties this tall. I will soon buy properties this tall. I will soon build properties this tall. At the moment, some of what we've invested in America are landed property and townhouses, right? But even at that, I'm imagining the next chapter, the next level of what we're going to do, who we are going to be, the kind of investment we're going to make. So that's, for me, is the beginning of your dream. Start by saying to yourself, I'm going to own you. If you want to do work, you can be working like I'm doing, and you can be pointing at buildings and say, I will buy you one day. I will buy you one day. It may take another 5 years. It may take another 10 years. It may take another 20 years. You will do that. Now, let me share a very powerful story with you. I was born in northern part of Nigeria, Maiduguri precisely. And when I was doing university, I had to come school in Ogun State University. I remember I would leave school some weeks and I would come to Victoria Island in Lagos. True story. Okay? And I will be working on the road and I will say, one day I will live in neighborhood like this. One day, somebody just joined who knew my story. We went to Osu together. Ikena, how are you? Ikena Charles, thank you for joining. And I will be working in Victoria Island. I will be saying, one day I will live in places like this. One day I will live in places like this. One day. Now, what was funny was, not only was it that I wasn't living in a place like Victoria Island, I was still a student in one room apartment, and then the only property my mother had was totally in the outskirts of Lagos, Sangota. But I will constantly say it. One day I will live in places like this. Today, when I'm in Nigeria, I live in Banana Island. That prophecy didn't just come to pass. Today I own cities, I'm building cities in Lagos. Literally, I'm buying 100 acres, 200 acres in the same Lagos, and I'm building my own kind of city. I'm going to put a golf course here, I'm going to do this here, I'm going to do that here. You can imagine how the imaginations, the words that I said, have become real. So that's where you start from. You don't let an environment intimidate you. Oh, America is not for people like me. Oh, I came late to America. Oh, I cannot own things in America. Who says so? Right? Oh, it's not, black people don't often own assets in America. Who told you? Who is selling that lie to you? Why did you accept to buy the lie? I've always said that. Why did you accept to buy the lie? Because it's a lie. And the question is, why did you accept to buy it? Okay? Because you can create your own narrative. You can create your own story. You can turn things around. You can be that person who came from Africa and then dominate this land. It's possible. And then you say, but that sounds weird. Well, listen to me. Today, those who call themselves Americans are actually not Americans. The entire land of America was initially owned by American Indians, was originally owned by Hispanic people. Okay? Some white guys, some of them came from Britain, some came from Scotland, some came from different parts. Some were Jews. They came in, they took over the land and dominated it. Turned the forests to beautiful cities. Right? So who says you can't do the same? Now, who is convincing you that you can't do the same? And this is the question I keep asking a lot of black people. Right? The limitation starts with a mindset. Because wealth is first in the mind before it becomes physical. Wealth is first in the mind before it becomes physical. Okay? Have you learned something today? If you've learned something, type I learned something. Okay? Come on, type it. So the beginning of your journey, and I hope you will share this video with as many Americans who are blacks or people living in America who are blacks. They need to hear this. The beginning is to imagine. I call imagination image nation. And guess what? Imagination is free. Everybody type imagination is free. Come on, I'm waiting for you guys to type it. Type imagination is free. It is free. Nobody's gonna, hurt you. because you imagine something and it didn't happen. Nobody will do anything to you. So feel free to dream it and say, one day I will own this building, I'll own that building, I'll own this one. Be pointing, be shopping. Come on, shop buildings, shop real estate, shop lands. That is the beginning of wealth creation in America. Imagination. Imagine it. Are you ready for number 2? If you're ready, type I'm ready, I'm ready. Number 2 thing I want to share with you today about building wealth in the real estate sector. Because like I said, the oil of America is real estate. Okay? And why you have to be part of it. Okay? You have to. Somebody said not in America. I mean not in Nigeria. Well, I started in Nigeria before I moved to the Dubai, before I moved to the UK, before I moved to US. And today I own more than 30 estates in Nigeria. So don't you see what I'm saying about mindset? You see what I'm saying about mindset? And my parents are not. My mother was a civil servant. My father's business had crumbled before I was even born. I grew up from a very poor home. And like I said, somebody who knows me in Nigeria is here. And both of us are even in the US now. Okay, he will tell you my story. So it's a mindset. Wealth is a mindset. While I was walking that street of Victoria Island, I had 2 options. I could be looking at those houses in Victoria Island and say, hey, Lord, you know, who cost me? Why can't my parents afford this kind of building? Right? Why am I in this kind of situation? But rather than think that way, I said to myself, one day, I, Stephen Akitayo, will live in this neighborhood. And like I said, today in Nigeria, wherever I'm in Nigeria, I live, my house is in Banana Island. And not only that, I'm now building estates across Nigeria. And I'm doing that in America. I'm doing that in Dubai as well. I'm doing that in UK as well. But it started with my mindset. I made up my mind I wanted to do that. I made up my mind it was something I'm going to do. I imagined it, okay? And I knew that even if I failed, nobody was going to beat me to it. But it cost me nothing to just imagine it. And I started imagining myself becoming a rich person, owning assets, owning properties. And today they are coming to pass gradually. Okay, are you ready for number 2 points? Number 2. If you're ready with number 2, type I'm ready, I'm ready. Okay, if you're ready, start I'm ready, I'm ready. Number 2 points. Why you must invest in real estate in America. If you're ready with number 2, type I'm ready, I'm ready. Come on. I love a very interactive class. I love engaging class. I love people engaging with me. If you're ready, type I'm ready. Number 2, start with what you have. Start with what you have. And I want someone to help me type number 2. Start with what you have. What I realize is that when people come to America, they're too bothered about what they don't have. And like a particular popular quote says, it's not what you don't have that limits you. It's what you have, but you don't know how to use. No human being, no mortal man has ever been limited by what they don't have. People have always been limited by what they have, but they don't know how to use. Start with what you have. I'll give you a story. My partner was sharing this story with me last week in New York. Okay? He said there are certain places in Brooklyn and Queens when they were full of drugs, there were shootings everywhere on the street. And the new mayor came, the new governor came and said, what do we need to do to turn this city around? And the state government started announcing that come buy this property for $1. Everybody say $1. And by the way, this is popular in America. There are $1 buildings. And when you see the $1 building, I kid you not, they are not your typical kind of building. Massive property. $1 building. And the entire street, $1. Now, this particular person said to me, even him, he was scared to get the $1 building because he felt It was a place ridden by drugs, by criminals. Guess what today? The same place in Brooklyn, in Queens, where the governor did a program for $1 building, townhouses and single family homes and all that. Today, can somebody guess the value of those same houses? Because people bought them, renovated those properties, right? Renovated. He's a property lawyer and he's regretting that he didn't buy years later. Renovated those properties, and can you guess the value of those properties that the state government was giving away for $1? Can somebody just guess? No right or wrong answer, just guess. Property that was being given away for $1 in Queens and Brooklyn years ago, when Governor Cuomo, was elected and he wanted to turn some places around. $1, he was giving it out. Can somebody guess the value of those properties today? Anybody? Random. Okay, I'm waiting. Who wants to guess? Okay, Brown Music. Emmy Brown Music says 300,000. The Real Rose says 100,000. 2.1 million, 2.2 million. Yes, today. Between 2.1 million to 2.2 million. The property they were just giving for $1 million. They renovated them. Those neighborhoods have been transformed now because, everybody who invested, renovated the place. Now the neighborhood is totally clean, right? Today between 2.1 million and $2.2 million. So when you, and this is the reality of it, somebody could have, I dare you, okay, to just begin to look for $1 property in America or in the UK. They exist all over the world, by the way. In the UK as well, £1 property exists. They are usually the city that is trying to renovate, they are trying to change that neighborhood. They sell those kind of houses. They expect you to, of course, buy them and renovate them. But they exist all over the Western world. Okay? Yeah, but if you're saying to yourself, I'm not sure I can even afford a property in America, right? It's a mental thing. Oh, I came all the way from Africa. I'm not sure I can own a property. Oh, what will and you see people talk that way. What will my $50,000 do? What will my $5,000 do? What will my $10,000 do? It will do a lot. It will do a lot. Start from where you are. Now, I'll give you three simple formula. Start from where you are. Number one, if you can't own it, okay, be the middleman between the buyer and the seller. Can somebody help me type that? Number one strategy. Start from where you are when it comes to owning real estate in America, right? If you cannot afford it, right, be the middleman between the buyer and the seller. And I'll give you a practical example. Right now as I speak to you, send me a DM. I have 20 units of 3-bedroom, okay, townhouse that I want to sell in Atlanta, Georgia. In Atlanta, right? The state of Atlanta. 20 units. Now, you help me sell each one. I'm giving you 5% for being the person who refer the buyer to me. Now, each one is going for $250. What is the 5% of $250? Right? I'm talking of a deal I have for you that you're watching me right now. Just to dare you to realize that these excuses don't exist. Right? They're just something we always come up with somehow. Can somebody do the calculation? 5% of $250,000. Somebody help me do the calculation. 5% of $250,000. How much is that? I will give you that. I have 20 units of them. If you can sell 3, if you can sell 1, you can sell the entire 20. Why not? You get 5%. So the first strategy, start from where you are. Even if you don't have any money at all to start your real estate journey, okay, be the middleman between the buyer and the seller. So I have one now in Atlanta, state of Atlanta, 20 unit of 3-bedroom townhouse, right? I'm giving 5%, okay, of the $250,000. Somebody says 17,500. Another person says 12,500. So who do we trust? Okay, whose calculation is right? 5% of $250,000. Okay, I'm not sure who is right, but I suspect that the 12,500 person is right. Okay, now with $12,500, no matter where you are in America, that is always enough as a deposit, okay, for the suburb area, you know, to buy a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom. Okay, as long as you're not going to the city center, and that is still part of start from where you are. Okay, because some of you, you know, let's assume you move to the state of Texas and you are here in Dallas. Must you live in Dallas town? Okay, there's so many places under Dallas, okay, that you can begin to, you know, deposit 12,500, okay, and then get a mortgage and you buy something for 50,000, even if it means it's a property you need to renovate, right? And it's not worth the standard. Renovate it, rent it out. Let's even assume you can't live in it. Rent it out. Let something be coming out of it. You know, $500 every month, $600 every month, $800. The thing will start building equity. 10 years from now, the same property that was going for $60,000 or was going for $50,000, you drop 12,500, right? And you got a mortgage on it. That same property will have been worth at least $150,000. That is how wealth is created. Are you getting value, guys? Come on, if you're getting value, type I'm getting value. Okay, if you're getting value, type I'm getting value. I'm getting value. Come on, talk to me. I need your energy, I need your engagement, I need your interaction. If you are getting value, type I am getting value. And please, you know, invite people to join this show. You know, share the video. It's so inspiring. People are learning, and the essence is just to give value. I'm not charging you. I'm just sharing things that if you dare me and practice, you'll be shocked. I've told you now, for example, if you can help me sell, I have 20 units of, you know, 3-bedroom townhouse in Atlanta. You help me sell, I give you 5%. I give you 5% commission. If you help me sell my 20 units of 3-bedroom townhouse here in Atlanta, just send me a DM, okay? And your 5% commission can be something you can easily use, okay, as your own deposit on your first property. So the era where you keep having this mindset of I don't have enough, that's why I don't own property, I'm not enough, I'm an African, oh, I'm just struggling, I've just come. Ikena Charles, please DM me. I'm going to send you the video of the 20 units of 3-bedroom I have in Atlanta. Get me a buyer and you keep 5%. Okay? But this goes to confirm what I'm teaching to you, because I didn't start this video because I wanted to get people to help me sell. But I just wanted to prove to you, because sometimes when we teach, people begin to feel like, oh, it's not easy, it's difficult. But there are poor people everywhere. Some people even reduce themselves, but I'm an African, but it's not for people like me, but I'm a student, but I'm a this. And we give all types of excuses. All types of excuses. But what we fail to realize is that there are poor people all over the world. Just in front of me, okay, you have homeless people, right? Here in America. Because some of you think that, oh, it's only in Africa that there are poverty. There's poverty everywhere. Okay? This is downtown Dallas. There's poverty everywhere. So it's just a mindset where you just feel, oh, it's just me because I'm black. Then the opportunities are limited. I hope you're learning something powerful today. So If you cannot afford to buy your own property, start by being the middleman between the buyer and the seller. Number two thing you want to do, if you cannot afford, okay, the property, you don't even have money to afford buying your own property, be the middleman between the buyer and the seller. Number two thing you should do, number two, and that's very powerful, okay, get the knowledge of the investment before the investment. So a lot of times the money people have can only get them the knowledge, okay? It's not enough to start the business, but start by getting the knowledge. One of the things I've done the last 3 years is to have constantly gotten knowledge of how real estate works in America, okay? I paid Harvard University over $12,000 for 2 years to learn real estate. I think I have class today or tomorrow. Okay, I'm doing the final, course of my Harvard classes. Yes, even though I built real estate asset worth billions of naira in Nigeria, when I entered the US market, I still paid to start learning like a new person. I paid Grant Cardone about $200,000 or so to understand real estate better from him. Okay? Yeah, over 200,000 actually. Right? For sessions. So, if you cannot afford to invest in real estate, to buy your own first property, go for this training. There are many of them. They will teach you, alright, how to use loan, how to buy real estate, how real estate works, single family home, fix and flip, all types of real estate. You will learn them, all types. Right? Some of those courses may be $1,000. Pay it, right? Because I pay 200,000, 12,000, right? 20,000. That's how I pay. But you can start at your level. There are $1,000 courses. There are $2,000 courses. Start somewhere. Like I said to you earlier, I'm doing a training on real estate here in Dallas this Saturday. Okay? It's $1,000 per person, but I'm giving 10 people free tickets. So if you know anybody in Dallas, if they're among the first people to send me a DM, okay, I'm going to give them a free ticket worth $1,000 to attend my real estate training here in Dallas. Okay? If they are not in Dallas, or you are not in Dallas, you are in Houston, well, you can come for that as well. If you are not in Houston, you are in Atlanta, I'm doing one in Atlanta as well. Then I'm doing my book signing in Los Angeles. I'm doing my book signing in San Francisco. And then I'm doing my book signing in Maryland, USA. You can get free tickets to that. I'm only giving 10. So send me a DM if you want any of that, or you know someone who needs it. Tell them to send me a DM. And they might get a ticket if they're among the first 10. Okay? Has this training been very helpful? If it's helpful, type helpful. Come on. Has this training been helpful? If it's helpful, just type helpful. Has this training been helpful? If it's helpful, just type helpful. Yes, I'm doing my afternoon work. I started a culture recently. I do a lot of working now. I realized I burn more fat working than actually when I go to the gym. So for the last first 6 months of this year, I was always at the gym and I started adding weight. I kid you not. Something very strange. Always, at the tennis court or at the gym, and I was adding more weight. So I was advised to just walk and light jogging, and you even burn more calories that way. So start from where you are is number 2 points that I taught today. But let's go to number 3 points, right? Number 3 point, which is very important, which is powerful and is extremely key. And I say this often: move with those who are already where you want to be. Okay? Anybody can help me type this? move with those who are already where you want to be. So one of the biggest problem I notice with a lot of people when they, Africans, when we migrate to the US, okay, the quality of people we move with, okay, have always defined how far we could go. And a lot of us, for whatever reason, made the wrong decision to move with people who are way, way below in terms of their income, in terms of their mindset. So one of the things I've learned over the years, you can never rise than the quality of people around you. So a time came in my life, what I prioritized on more was quality people. In fact, sometimes people ask me, why do you pay? A lot of times people ask, okay, you go for expensive trainings, right? Why do you go? I say, sometimes I go for trainings, not because I don't even know what they are teaching there, but because I want to meet people who could afford that 20,000. So you're going for a course, and the training is $20,000 per person. For me, a lot of times I go for those meetings because anybody who could afford $20,000 like me is the kind of person I want to connect with, who will add value to what I'm doing. I hope we understand what this is about. So the third thing you want to do, if you're serious about this journey of building wealth through real estate in America, you want to begin to move with those who have already built the wealth. And how do you connect with them? Go play golf. Attend seminars that are extremely expensive, and a lot of top people will come. Most of the meetings I've attended here in the US, okay, around real estate and other important subjects, I am usually the only Nigerian in the entire meeting. And we have very few blacks. Literally, you can count how many black people are in the room. You have a training where you have 1,000 participants. Sometimes we're talking about just 6-7 black people in the entire room, okay? And that's the problem, because most of us haven't made up our mind and decide intentionally to say, I want to start moving with people who are better than I do. I want everybody to type this. I, Stephen Akitayo, vow to start moving with people who are better than I do, instead of people who I'm better than. Come on, everybody, I want to type it. I, Stephen Akitayo, vow to start moving with people who are better than I do, than just people I'm better than. And I understand the challenge of moving with people who are better than you. A lot of times we all struggle with this. The things they talk about, we feel small. Who knows what I'm talking about? Oftentimes when you're moving with people who are better than you are, they are bigger than you are, they've handled bigger things, right? You're quiet in the meeting. If you understand what I'm talking about, type I understand. You're quiet in the conversation. You are calm. You are listening. And sometimes people don't want to do that because we want to be the one talking like, yeah, we're the big guy. We're the ones who have the money. Right? We're the ones who are... Yeah, sometimes just... And it's happened to me many times. I have met people who are richer than I do, older than I do, and they're just talking and I'm saying, wow. And I'm adding more questions. Sir, what do you think about this? Sometimes it's not as if what they are saying I don't know, but they are validating it. I needed that validation. It's important to me. It's important to me. So decide if you're serious about building, because let me give you an example. You will never be inspired to acquire real estate in America if most of the people you are moving with have not acquired themselves. Okay? And these are realities here. You will never. What puts you under pressure is a situation where everybody you are talking to, all your friends, they will tell you, oh, I have this property in New Jersey. I have 2 more in Atlanta. I have 5 more in Dallas. When you begin to hear that, and these are facts, they're not trying to impress you, it's just the reality of their lives. Okay, you will begin to see that you also want to say, well, how do I start my first property? You're going to ask them those questions. Guys, what do you think? How do how can I start? Move with people who are better than you. Just humble yourself. That's all it will take. That's all it will take. We will always meet people who are better. Okay? I partner with somebody here in the US. And we're going to be doing a lot of stuff together. He's mastered the whole concept of what you can say fix and flip, as well as development, right? He can go to a place, build massive property. He can go renovate. He has a team. He has all of that. He's a property lawyer. Hey, okay, I'm good at marketing. I'm also into development, but haven't done much of that in the US, right? But I bring in marketing. I can sell anything. So we're partnering and we're doing bigger things together. But for him to feel intimidated by my marketing skills, or for me to feel intimidated by his own construction and legal background, then you struggle. And this is part of what is missing with us as black people. What we fight over is actually what is supposed to bring us together. We understand what I'm talking about. What often divides us is actually our strength, which is supposed to be what is supposed to unite us. If you agree with me, type I agree. Most of us as black people, what often divides us is actually what is supposed to bring us together. I'm a Yoruba man, and I've always said this over and over again. The most creative tribe in the whole of Nigeria are the Igbos. And I've said it over and over again. If I ever become the president of Nigeria, the entire eastern part of Nigeria will be turned to manufacturing, science, and creative hub entirely, right? The smartness of the typical Igbo man, I will use it to develop Nigeria. I kid you not. Because the same thing was happening with the Chinese years ago. How many of us remember in the 90s, in the 80s, things that are made in China, the Chinese were never going to say was made in China. They were not proud of China then, right? In fact, how many of you remember, even up to now, technically, we all still believe there's a difference between made in China, okay, and made in, let's say, UK. We understand what I'm talking about. But how many of us are beginning to realize that China has closed that gap now? Everything is actually made in China. Let me give you a typical example of phones. In the early 2000s, when you and I started buying phones, it was always made in China phones, right? Versus Nokia phones, versus Samsung, and all these other German phones, isn't it? Today, even your iPhone was made in China. Your Samsung was made in China. So the typical Igbo man that is making shoe today in Aba and is putting made in Italy, if you can come in as the government, as the president, okay, and give support, he will proudly put made in Aba, and people will be rushing that same product in England, in the US, in the UK, right? But rather than us seeing as Nigerians that our differences is even what is supposed to bring us together, we begin to say, oh, is there an Igbo man? No, he's too clever, right? It's a wrong way of thinking. Oh, is there an Hausa man? Oh, they are too religious. Is there a Yoruba man? You can't trust them. They speak from two sides of the mouth. Okay, I hope I'm not too hard on you guys today. But these are the same thing. We then come to the UK, we come to America, and we're replicating the same. Right? We're replicating the same. Rather than us coming together, the Indians will come to America, they will come together, right? They will build massive estate. Someone was sharing a story of a massive estate in Canada. massive estate in Canada. Okay, the Indians came together and built that massive community. We won't do that. We're still dividing ourselves, okay, even in this part of the world. I just left Johannesburg in South Africa, and I went to see the Consular General. And the conversation was about how they did an election in one of the Nigerian organizations. And in Johannesburg, these are all people in the diaspora, and they are fighting themselves over that one particular part of the region of Nigeria had 5 ESCOs, and the other regions did not have enough. In Johannesburg, ladies and gentlemen, right? So what we want to work on today, and I hope most of you watching, because I know majority of those who often watch me are black people, we need to leverage on our strength, right? And come together and build wealth, because one man can't do it. The wealth we need to build will only happen when we come together as a people, when all of us begin to leverage on each other's strength. I don't call it weaknesses. If you are clever, we just need to channel that cleverness on the right path, and you still use that cleverness on the right. Like I told you, Indians in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 70s, when you say an Indian man, you're thinking he's diabolical. You're thinking he's going to use certain charms, right? And that was the mindset we all had about Indians. Today, Indians are the CEOs of all the tech companies. Indians are, innovative when it comes to medicine. Indians have taken over the world. In fact, the data shows that by the year 2075, right, China will be the first economy in the world, the largest economy in the world. India will be number 2 largest economy in the world. And of course, Nigeria will be number 5. Can somebody say amen to that? Come on, can somebody say amen to that? Nigeria will be number 5 largest economy in the world by the year 2075. Some of the data that I'm currently going through. Okay, that's what it is telling me. Can I get an amen? When I say Nigeria now, some of you are quiet, huh? Some of you are quiet when I say Nigeria. Right? So that is what I wanted to share with you today. Begin to invest in building relationship with people that are better than you. I want everybody to type it. I, Stephen Akitayo, vow to start connecting with people that are better than me. Come on, everybody, I want to type it. Everyone watching this. I, Stephen Akitayo, vow that I want to begin to connect with people that are better than me. Chinwe from Zambia, how are you, my brother? How's your wife? Thank you for joining. Right? I, Stephen Akitayo, vow, okay, to begin to connect with people that are better than I do. That is how to grow. Always look at people who are better than you in one way or the other. Swallow your pride. Go and meet them. Connect with them. The Bible says, buy wisdom, sell it not. Buy wisdom, sell it not. Buy wisdom, sell it not. So if there are certain people, they know certain things better than you, go meet them. Partner with them. Right? Be humble, of course. Let them know, hey, I want to learn this. Okay? I'm not too good in this area. I need your support. I'm humble. I'm willing to learn. Or can we trade? I will bring this, you bring that. I will come from this angle, you come from that angle. That is the mindset. That is the approach. That is the attitude. And that's how to get to the top. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to encourage you to share this video with as many people as you can. Let's get more people to hear this. I believe this will open a lot of people's mind and hearts to building wealth. The oil of America is real estate, and why you must key in. It's a shame to be in America and you don't own at least, and you've been in America for 10 years and you don't own at least 5 properties that is cash producing. If you're in America for 10 years and you don't have cash producing, at least 5 cash producing real estate, it's a shame. I'm telling you the fact. It is a shame. It's not wisdom. Okay? You're all welcome. You're welcome. Ibro Colette says, thank you for this free masterclass. You're welcome. You're welcome. Like I said, those of you, if you are in Dallas, send me a DM. If you're in Houston, send me a DM. If you're in Los Angeles, send me a DM. If you are in San Francisco, send me a DM. If you're in Maryland, send me a DM. If you're in Atlanta, send me a DM. I am having a real estate investment masterclass and book signing, and I'm giving you $1,000 worth of free ticket. First 10 people to send me a DM, and you will be able to join me for the event and learn more about real estate, about how to build your wealth, how to own properties here in America, and how to build wealth in the US. Okay? I love you all and God bless you. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.